over the period of time, we've seen, an event like COVID, and obviously people are reevaluating their careers, and they don't just want to sign up with anything and everything that comes their way. They really want to look at, okay, what am I going to do if I have to give 5 years of my life to this company? So, do you sense that in a way that it's flipped a little bit more on the company side? In other words, there's more burden on the company to do more creative stuff, and
Oh, absolutely, because now, the whiffum effect is important. What's in it for me? That's what the candidates are saying. And now the employers are saying it too, right? And so we all been in, I call it timeout. COVID was a timeout. We had a timeout where we had to sit down and reevaluate. And what we are finding is that Gen Zs have core values. And they're probably one of the first generations say, you know what? If my core values don't align with this organization's core value, I'm not interested. And they're unapologetic about it. And so I think the burden has come on employers to be more creative and innovative and flexible because that is what this generation is looking for.
yeah. And so, are there companies, Tanya, you can think that Gen Zs admire, that they may say that, what, like, there's always a way. For example, in the B school, they say, oh, okay, we want to go to after the consulting companies, or we want to go after Google, or we want to go like, is that shifted? Like, can you think of one or two companies, or can you have a name or two where where maybe most Gen Zs are saying like, what, that's the firm, like, we want to be like them, and like we really want everyone else could be like them, or can, yeah, that's, they're sort of excited about that.
I have a perfect one, Zappos,
Okay.
which is a shoe company. They've been brought out. And so Zappos, their culture is fun. It's exciting. Now you and I may go in there and may think it's chaotic, right? Because I've been there and I toured, but they have fun. But what I love about Zappos and how they attract a lot of Gen Z is that organization allowed their employees to craft and develop the culture, which is unheard of. Because typically it's top down. And so they also tell you, you know what? This is the culture you guys brought. If this is not something you want to do, you can leave. They ask you can leave,
So
right?
how does that work? I mean, practically, I mean, obviously, it's very refreshing. But let's say they hire a cohort of, I don't know, a class of 20 people or something like, and then, so what, would they give them some induction, or they flip it to like,
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to get some induction. I think you're going to have the first cohort that is going to help develop it. But I think the emphasis is that it is employee led and sponsored by leadership. That's the difference with the culture aspect of it, as opposed to it's pushed down from top down, it's bottom up, and they support it. And they're having, and one of the biggest thing about Zappo is that it's fun. No, I mean, this generation, they want fun. They want to feel and see themselves. So that's one company. I do think Starbucks does a good job because they use a lot of technology, like with video, especially in the interviewing process. I think that employees such as the Gen Z, candidates like the Gen Z resonate and feel a place of belonging because that's their MO, technology.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. And going back to Zappos, so would the employees then, like, basically they say that, look, this is what we would like, and then they kind of have our dialogue around it, and hopefully within a year or two, something comes up, because I think if you're recruiting fresh talent, or they revisit that every few years, but they,
Yeah,
yeah,
I think it's a process, right? I think that there's a series of surveying and assessing what worked, what doesn't, and then have it spearheaded by employees. But what I found that it was interesting is that, yes, it's probably revisited every couple of years, but I think that when they're doing onboarding, they have a way of messaging it the right way where it resonates with this new generation where they can feel like, you know what, I fit in. I feel like I could be authentic. I feel like I can bring my whole self to work and I can have fun. And then I am responsible for my career.